Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Wagering Development. Saturday's Fountain of Youth Day, and it's a stakes-laden card at Gulfstream Park. So we're going to take a look at the all-stakes pick 4 that starts in the 11th race. And I will say, I get to crow a little bit, my pick 4 ticket hit last week for $1,100 on 50 cents. So that was a good score for us. So we'll hopefully try to make it 2 weeks in a row.
Hopefully somebody listened to you and didn't listen to me, because I did not hit it.
Well, that goes back and forth, as we know. Let's go to the 11th race to start the late pick 4. It's the Grade 3 Honey Fox at a mile for fillies and mares, and this is on the turf. Where did you? There's a Chad Brown on the inside. I'm guessing a Presus. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I figure is going to be the favorite. Where are you landing?
Yeah, I hate these horses that I like that I can't pronounce the name. I looked it up and I still couldn't find out, but it is the French word for precious. So I'm going to call her Precious. Maybe that.
There we go.
I don't. We'll figure out what Peter will call her when we watch the race, but I'm sure ILO will have it figured out. This mare has run against much better overseas, and Chad got her for the De La Rosa at Saratoga last year in August, and caught a soft track, which she probably liked, and ran a second to Uni. So there's nothing wrong with that, getting beat by a Chad Brown horse if you're a Chad Brown horse. So she's been off since then. Looks like back class here should carry the day. But since she's been off, there are some other horses you got to look at. And I'll just take them in numerical order because I really don't have a preference below her. Valley Victoria in the 2 for Kelly Breen is 10 for 24 lifetime and 3 for 4 at Gulfstream and 2 for 3 the distance, including graded stakes win in the Swanee River last time out. So I think you got to look at her very closely. I think the 4-horse La Signare by Brian Lynch also came out of the Marshes River, faded at the end. Bella Vase comes out of the same race. All those horses ran well in that race, the 9-horse. And then the 7 Conquest Hard Candy for Joe Bravo and Antonio Sano ran in the Endeavor at Tampa and just got nipped at the wire. Has also got a little bit of back class with some graded stakes in her past. So I'm going to go deep when we get to pick 4 here, but I'm going to take Precious, probably box her with the Brian Lynch horse, La Signare. Probably needed a race last time out, but off since last July, and she got close to the lead and then faded in the Marshes River, so that may set her up well for this mile turf.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at this the same way you are, and for the win pick, I'm going to try to beat the favorite with La Signare. They had some trouble last time in that 4-year-old debut, in addition to it being off the layoff, and I like the work pattern since then. And I thought this one flashed some real talent. The horse that beat her at Keeneland came back to win the stake on Derby weekend and beat Rushing Fall, and then La Signare's next race was a Grade 3 win up in New York off a runner-up effort and an entry-level allowance. So I think she's a nice filly. The favorite, Precious, going to do on the inside, certainly. I'm also going to use Valedictorian, Bellevay from Pletcher, and Dolce Lily on the outside for Bill Mott. So I'm going to use 5 there. In the 12th race, the Grade 2 Devona Dale 3-year-old fillies going a mile. And I think Jaywalk, you could certainly single, but given that she's coming off a layoff, I'm going to try to beat her and use one other horse in the pick 4, and it's Champagne Anyone. She had a really nice win at Keeneland, making the type of move that you don't often see win 1-mile races at Keeneland last fall. They put her in a stake off that at Churchill. Didn't run great, but in her 3-year-old debut, she nearly got up to win, and the Beyer jump was significant in her 3-year-old debut. So if she improves again off that, which is certainly possible, she's got a shot, and she's got a race under her belt where Jaywalk's coming in off a layoff. So I'm going to just go with those 2 in the pick 4, but I am going to try to beat Jaywalk in the race itself with Champagne Anyone. Another Time would be the only other one that I thought merited a look. How about you?
Yeah, we're on the same page here because all the things that you said I agree with on Champagne Anyone. The most important thing I think you said is that prep race. Jaywalk hasn't been out since the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Of course, she won by 5.5 that day. She's much the best in here on paper. Is she going to be totally cranked for this? Absolutely not. She's going to be totally cranked for the Kentucky Oaks in a couple of months. So Jaywalk is vulnerable here, I think, because Champagne Anyone is moving forward. And the prep race at 7 furlongs, I think, sets her up well for the mile. Ian Wilkes gets them better as they go along, and I like the 84 Buyer jump as well. So I'm going to do exactly what you are. I'm going to play the 1, the 5, and the pick 4. If you think Jay Walk's just a total lock, you could cut your ticket in half. But if you beat her, you probably quadruple your winnings.
Very good point. The Grade 2 Fountain of Youth on the road to the Kentucky Derby is the third leg of the pick 4, race 13 at 1 mile and a 16th for the 3-year-olds. And I did not have a strong opinion here. Hidden Scroll jumps off, obviously, on the Buyer scale and any of the other measuring scales for speed. But was that the real deal? Was it the slop that produced that? We'll certainly get a better read on this horse. But Hidden Scroll created a ton of buzz with that debut win, now making the next start in a Grade 2 here in the Fountain of Youth. So are you going to stay on Hidden Scroll or look elsewhere?
Well, the wise guys on Twitter are all saying that Hidden Scroll is a great bet against because horse that gets that big a Buyer, and then things change for the second race. It probably won't be a sloppy track. It's 1 mile and 16th, not a mile. He had his own way on the lead there, and just he was quick in the first half at 44-3, but he just glided over the slop, and I don't think that's a very representative effort of his ability. If it is, he's going to be a Triple Crown winner. Anybody who runs a 104, if he pushes that forward, he'll be in the 110 range by the time he gets to Louisville. But and Bill Mott, the other thing that you have to look at, Bill Mott doesn't get him ready for the first race most of the time. So this horse probably has some exceptional talent. I certainly am going to use him, but I think other horses in here could step up and challenge him, including Code of Honor on the inside, who was really bad in the Mucho Macho Man, but go back to his Champagne from last year, even with trouble, finished within 3 lengths of the win in the Grade 1. Going to give him another chance for Shug. Signal Man for Kenny McPeak, who won the Kentucky Juvenile Cup at Churchill last year on a sloppy track. Ran okay in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Only got beat by 3 lengths to Game Winner. And what would Game Winner be if he was in here? So I think Signal Man has a big chance. Global Campaign for Stanley Huff and Luis Saez is my other horse that I would throw in there. So I'm going to go 4 deep in the pick 4. Hidden Scroll is obvious, but he's almost too obvious. I would not play him to win here at 6-5 or whatever he's going to go off at. I would think that Signal Man at maybe 9-2 might be a good win bet. So I'm going to take those 4 horses. If I had to pick one, it might be Signal Man over Hidden Scroll.
I'm going to try to beat Hidden Scroll, too. Got to use him on the ticket. But Code of Honor is where I landed. This horse was a first-time out winner at 6 furlongs at Saratoga for Shug McGahee, and that's rarely happens. Shug's one that usually those 2-year-olds kind of run into form over a couple of races or 3, and this horse won first time out. Shug put the horse in the Grade 1 Champagne, and Code of Honor ran a really bang-up second. I thought the horse had a big shot in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and then came up with a little issue, didn't get to run, and then kind of had a dud in the 3-year-old debut. But he's had 3 bullets, I think 6 workouts since that 3-year-old debut, and 3 of them have been bullets. And that's kind of atypical for the McGahee barn as well. So off that angle, I'm going to try Code of Honor to upset him in here, but I'll use Hidden Scroll. I'm going to go 6 deep in here. Bourbon War is the next one I liked. And then Signal Man, Global Campaign, and Vekoma. A lot of these have only 2 or 3 starts under their belt. Signal Man certainly has a big edge in terms of the being battle-tested. But I'm going to try Code of Honor for the win, but I'm going to use 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the pick 4. And then that gets us to the 14th race, the Mac Diarmida, 4-year-olds and up at 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf. And because I'm going deeper in some of these other races, I'm going to single Zulu Alpha. 101 Buyer last time, and that's 3 100 or better Buyers out of the last 4 starts. And that's better than anything else in this field. 3rd start off the layoff could be the best effort, and John Ortiz did really well with this horse, and then Maker has kept it going. So I'm going to single Zulu Alpha. If you wanted to use another one, Village King for Pletcher, it was interesting. The 3 and the 4, Melmick and Hunter O'Reilly. Within the race itself, I'll probably use all 3 of those in exacta keys around Zulu Alpha. But for the pick 4, I'm just going to single the old 6-horse Zulu Alpha. How about you?
Yeah, I knew you were singling because I was counting up how much money you'd spent so far on those first 3 races.
Yes.
I thought you were running out, but maybe you were going to expand your bankroll. But I'm going to use Zulu Alpha, obviously, but I've got a little more money than you because I'm not going quite as deep as you in the Fountain of Youth. So I'm going to also use Channel Maker. Channel Maker, if he runs back to his races last year, will be right there with Zulu Alpha. Now, he didn't run a step in the Breeders' Cup Turf, and then came back in the Pegasus Day Turf race, and wasn't really in competition. It's a yielding turf course, and he's done well on soft turf courses before, and I really liked him that day. But I don't know. He had a little bit of trouble, maybe lingering from the Breeders' Cup. Maybe he's not what he was, but if he gets back to what he was at Saratoga and Belmont last year, he's right there. So to me, it's a 2-horse race between Channel Maker if he steps up and Zulu Alpha, who's probably going to be even money to win. So I think your single is probably wise there. Do you want me to go ahead and go through my pick 4?
Sure. Go ahead and give us the
While
pick
I'm hot?
4.
All right. So I had 5 horses in the Honey Fox. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. That's Precious, Valedictorian, La Signari, Conquest, Hard Candy, and Bella Vase. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. And 2 horses in the Devonadale, the 1 Jaywalk, and the 5 Champagne E1. Went 4 deep in the Fountain of Youth with 1 Code of Honor, 6 Signal Man, 7 Hidden Scroll, and 8 Global Campaign, and 2 deep in the finale, the Mac Diarmada, 6-11 was Zulu Alpha and Channel Maker. So 1, 2, 4, 7, 9 with 1, 5, with 1, 6, 7, 8 with 6-11 for $40.
I am going 1, 2, 4, 9, 10 with 1, 5, with 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with 6. So what is that? 5 by 2 by 6, and so that's $60 for 50 cents. Best of luck with your wagers on the Saturday card down at Gulfstream. Really good day of racing, and other places to play around the country too with some good racing. Next week, I think there's another Derby prep with the Tampa Bay Derby, so it's a fun time of year for hoops and horses. And we'll be back with another edition of the In the Money podcast next week. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach for KeenelandSelect.com.